All right, in this lesson, we're going to learn about rotations. Rotation means to turn. Okay, we're going to turn the object around a point. Okay, the point of rotation. So the figure is turned about a fixed point. And we have some rules that we're just going to have to memorize, guys, okay? If we rotate an object or a point 90 degrees clockwise, what happens is our ordered pair XY flips. So the number that's in the Y coordinate position becomes the first ordered pair number, and the X comes second. And not only is the X in the new position, it's actually the inverse operation. So if it is a 2 in our original formula, now it would become a -2. And if it's a -2 in our problem, it would then become a +2. It doesn't mean a negative. It's the opposite symbol of what it currently is. Okay? If we move 90 degrees counterclockwise, we have our rule. Okay, the first number in our ordered pair now becomes the second number. And the second number now becomes the first number in our ordered pair. And it's actually not just the first number, it's the opposite of whatever you have. So let's say if our Y was 5, what is it now? -5. And it's listed in the front of our ordered pair. Now let's take a look at the next one. 180 degrees. Is XY. So if it goes completely in 180 degrees, we have not just XY now, we have the opposite of the original X and the opposite of the original Y. Okay, and I know that's a lot to take in, okay, but just make you a little star and you're going to have to memorize those. Okay, so let's try the first one. The first example says, rotate the triangle 90 degrees clockwise. If you look, we have our triangle and our points are already identified in an ordered pair. So let's look. 90 degrees clockwise means that where would our triangle land if we wanted to turn it 90 degrees clockwise? Currently it's in quadrant 1. If I wanted it to rotate 90 degrees clockwise, like a clock, tick, 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 we would want it to land in quadrant 2. You've got it. So look at the rule. Okay, let's put our rule card. For that rule, it says that what we need to do is we need to 90 degrees clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise. It says our ordered pair XY is now opposite, and not only is it flipping the numbers around, we also have that -X. That means the opposite of the sign we see. So we have 2, 3. But we know, based on our rule, we need to reverse them. So the 3 is first now, the 2 is second now. And currently, what kind of 2 do we have? Positive. So we have to do the opposite sign. So our answer would be negative. So on our chart, we want to have A prime, since it has been rotated, will be 3, -2. And let's go ahead and plot that point. So from the origin, we're going to go over 3, 1, 2, 3, down 2. And we're going to label it A prime. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for B. Look at our rule. Okay, let's do our next point. Okay, our ordered pair says 3, 1. And since we are 3, 1, the rule says we have to flip the order of the ordered pair. So now it would become 1, 3. Are we done? No, we flip the order of the ordered pair, but it says the opposite sign of what our X was. So the opposite of a +3? -3. Very good. So For our B prime, we have 1, -3. Let's go ahead and plot that on our graph paper. 1, -3. And that, guys, is B prime. Okay? All right, let's try the next one. Our ordered pair for this one, our ordered pair is 1, 2. So it's 1, 2. That's just how I see it, okay? So my rule says I need to flip them. Am I done after I switch my order of my ordered pair? No, because it says that my original first number has to be the opposite operation. So it will be a -1 instead of a +1. The opposite operation of what I see. Let's go ahead and plot that point. 2, -1. And it lands on C. And there it is. Great job. So we rotated that triangle 90 degrees. Now let's take a look at the next one. So it's strictly following the rule. It says rotate the figure 90 degrees counterclockwise. So let's look at our rule for 90 degrees counterclockwise. And our rule says that if it's X, Y, what we're going to do now is we're going to reverse it to Y, X. And this time, we're going to do the opposite of -Y. So let's go ahead and try that in this example. So the ordered pair is -5, -3. So what we want to do is we want to flip our numbers. Now careful, okay, this is what when we flipped them, but it says we have to do the opposite of Y. So the opposite of -3 is +3. That's right. So what we do is we take M prime, and it's going to be +3, -5. Let's go ahead and plot that point. And when we plot that point, we know that's going to be our M prime because it's been rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. Let's try the next one. Our original ordered pair says -2, -3. So our rule says that we need to flip our number order, and we need to do the opposite. So the opposite of -3, you got it. It's +3. So A prime is +3, -2. I'm going to go ahead and plot that point and label it A prime because it's been rotated. Go ahead and try T. Try T on your own, and I'm going to show you the answer to see if you've done it correctly. Alright, so let's look and see. I switched the order of my numbers, and I have to do the opposite of -5, which is a +5. So if you got the ordered pair 5, -2, you did a great job. Make sure you go ahead and plot that point. And make sure you label it T prime. I'm going to rewrite my letter because I ran out of room. Okay, last one. Go ahead and try it. Alright, so look up when you're done and check your answer with mine. I got 5, -5. So I'm going to go ahead and plot that point. I'm going to move my M because plot that point. See if you got it. Good job. That figure rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise. Okay? Go ahead and look at the next one. The next one is the last final rule that we need to look over because it says to rotate the triangle 180 degrees. Okay? In my opinion, this one is the easiest to remember because look at our rule. Our rule says XY, opposite X, opposite Y. So on the next one, that's all we have to do, okay, is do the opposite of X and the opposite of Y. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Our original one says 2, 3. So the opposite of positive 2 is negative 2. The opposite of positive 3 is negative 3. And then we are going to go ahead and plot that point and label it A prime because we know that it has been rotated. Go ahead and try the rest. Go ahead and try the rest.